What do we know about Two-Bit so far?
Well,
He's the oldest of the gang, right? What else do we know? Goes to school. Alright, he's on the same page. Right, goes to school, right? For the kicks of it, right? Not because he likes it, but because, well, he doesn't like it, but more because it's fun, right? Right, excellent. What are you thinking about Pony Boy's thoughts about him?
Don't worry.
How are you right here about Two-Bit? Now when you think what Pony Boy thinks about it, what do you say?
He's older for the gang. He's fresher.
You want to be listening to him? Okay, the oldest of the gang, wisecracker, like kind of jokester,
Anika.
right?
Hanukkah. What are munchkins?
That's I like to talk about so on Two-Bit. How are thoughts pretty good on Two-Bit? Right, shop lists. Yeah, shop lists there. Right, how do you do?
Shut up.
Alright, take 10 more seconds to finish up your last thought on Two-Bit, and then we're going to be hearing about Dally, or Dallas Winston. Alrighty, here we go. Here's Dally.
If I had to pick the real character of the gang, it would be Dallas Winston, Dally. I used to like to draw his picture when he was in a dangerous mood, for then I could get his personality down in a few lines. He had an elfish face with high cheekbones and a pointed chin, small, sharp animal teeth, and ears like a lynx. His hair was almost white, it was so blonde, and he didn't like haircuts or hair oil either, so it fell over his forehead in wisps and kicked out in the back in tufts and curled behind his ears and along the nape of his neck. His eyes were blue, blazing ice cold with the hatred of the whole world. Dally had spent 3 years on the wild side of New York and had been arrested at the age of 10. He was tougher than the rest of us. Tougher, colder, meaner. The shade of difference that separates a greaser from a hood wasn't present in Dally. He was as wild as the boys in the downtown outfits like Tim Shepard's gang. In New York, Dally blew off steam in gang fights. But here, organized gangs are rarities. They're just small bunches of friends who stick together, and the warfare is between the social classes. A rumble, when it's called, is usually born of a grudge fight, and the opponents just happen to bring their friends along. Oh, there are a few named gangs around, like the River Kings and the Tiber Street Tigers, but here in the Southwest, there's no gang rivalry. So Dally, even though he could get into a good fight sometimes, had no specific thing to hate. No rival gang. Only socials. And you can't win against them no matter how hard you try, because they've got all the breaks, and even whipping them isn't going to change that fact. Maybe that's why Dallas was so bitter. He had quite a reputation. They have a file on him down at the police station. He had been arrested, he got drunk, he rode in rodeos, lied, cheated, stole, rolled drunks, jumped small kids. He did everything. I didn't like him, but he was smart, and you had to respect him.
Okay. Alright, that's going to be a key line there in our story. I didn't like him, but he was smart and you had to respect him. So this is Dally Winston. Dally's got quite the long rap sheet, right? He's done a lot in his short time here. Go ahead and be talking about it in your group. Be filling out your chart, what we know about Dally, what are Pony Boy's thoughts about him, and then what are his actions and words that we've seen so far throughout the story. Okay, be working in your groups. Go ahead. What makes him these things? Right. I couldn't like that. It's tough. It's awesome. Right, he's done a lot of bad things in his day. You're right. That's some young fights, right? This is how people describe it. So we're seeing his years of you got Dally all squared away. Alrighty. Someone describe Dally for us in just a couple of words. So what are some keywords that we hear about Dally? Let's hear from Milo. Angry. Okay, why do you say angry? Right, he's always getting in fights with somebody, they're saying. For sure. What else? Let's hear from someone I haven't heard from yet today. Alondra, go for it. Nice and loud for us. Tougher, colder, meaner. Okay, so he's this tough guy, right? He's got a long rap sheet. He spent some time in New York. You know, he's this big city guy in this small Oklahoma town. So he's kind of stands out. Okay, so that's Dally. All right, let's continue. We're going to continue on just a little bit more here about Johnny Cage. Excellent job following along, ladies.
Johnny Cage was last and least. If you can picture a little dark puppy that has been kicked too many times and is lost in a crowd of strangers, you'll have Johnny. He was the youngest next to me, smaller than the rest with a slight build. He had big black eyes and a dark tan face. His hair was jet black and heavily greased and combed to the side, but it was so long that it fell in shaggy bangs across his forehead. He had a nervous, suspicious look in his eyes, and that beating he got from the Socias didn't help matters. He was the gang's pet, everyone's kid brother. His father was always beating him up, and his mother ignored him, except when she was hacked off at something, and then you could hear her yelling at him clear down at our house. I think he hated that worse than getting whipped. He would have run away 1,000,000 times if we hadn't been there. If it hadn't been for the gang, Johnny would never have known what love and affection are. I wiped my eyes hurriedly. Did you catch him? No, they got away this time, the dirty... Two-Bit went on cheerfully, calling the Socias every name he could think of or make up. The kid's okay? I'm okay. I tried to think of something to say. I'm usually pretty quiet around people, even the gang. I changed the subject. I didn't know you were out of the cooler yet, Dally. Good behavior. Got off early. Dallas lit a cigarette and handed it to Johnny. Everyone sat down to have a smoke and relax. A smoke always lessens the tension. I had quit trembling and my color was back. The cigarette was calming me down. Two-Bit cocked an eyebrow. Nice looking bruise you got there, kid. I touched my cheek gingerly. Really? Two-Bit nodded sagely. Nice cut, too. Makes you look tough. Tough and tough are two different words. Tough is the same as rough. Tough, T-U-F-F, means cool, sharp, like a tough-looking Mustang or a tough record. In our neighborhood, both are compliments.
All right. We're going to pause right there for right now, okay? Let's first make a connection back to this tough word, okay? Right? He says there's tough, and then there's tough, right? And they same word but different meanings. Do we have words that we use today like that?
Yeah.
Okay, who can give us an example of words, right? For sure we do, right? Mila.